Welcome back to Kimok 7 Poker Vlog. The World Series of Poker Circuit event came to Potawatomi up in Milwaukee this weekend, so stay tuned for some action. Not any videos of hands, but I'm going to provide hand analysis on 3 different hands towards the end of this video. Short vlog, and I'll tell you about the good, bad, and the ugly.
To burn this night, but it no work out. You're just a weak out, you say make police friend like parasite in a
See how room 1123 looks. Here's the view in the hallway. That's Lake Michigan way in the distance. And that's downtown Milwaukee. Very exciting. Let's go check out a room 1123. Must be this way. Well, she asked me if I wanted a room low to the ground or high to the ground. And I said definitely high to the ground. High up in the sky, right? I'm not afraid to be high. Yeah, they're sweet rooms. I stayed here last summer. It's great. Even if you have a shitty session, you can always come up here and just wallow in your worries, in your misery. So we'll get another view of Milwaukee from this direction. Oh, it's the same view. All right. That is funny. All right, we got to get changed so we can get down there and start the grind. Well, the tour of the Potawatomi Hotel room wouldn't be complete if I didn't show you the bathroom. So the place is just really decked out. Really, really nice. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Very exciting. Couldn't be more first class. I don't know if it's 4-star, 5-star hotel or what, but much nicer than that shithole Ameristar where you ask for a non-smoking room and you get a room. You pay for non-smoking, you get your room, and it smells like, whoa, wait a minute. What's this in the corner? Oh, the World Series of Poker. Invented flying, right? All right, we're here at Potawatomi. We're going to try to satellite into event number 10. It's a $65 cheap satellite. Potawatomi Casino, the World Series of Poker here in Milwaukee. Event number 10 coming up at 4 o'clock. It's 2 o'clock now. Satellite kicks off in a few minutes. Blinds are 10 minutes. And starting chip stack is just 3,000. So, want to shout out to Peter, who came up and said hi from Milwaukee. Good luck, Peter, and let's all crush it. Kimok 7.
Послать email им, они нужно послать всем тем же, кому он послал. Всем, кто имеет. Единственный вариант, если нет, надо, можно будет попытаться, не знаю, что
Right here we go. Good, bad, and the ugly. It was an interesting 48 hours of pretty much non-stop grinding in tournaments, satellites, and 1-3 cash games. What can I say? Let's start out with the bad, which was on Friday, and in about 2 or 3 minutes I'm going to give you some hand reviews of 3 different hands. I've actually put them up on my wall here, so we'll talk about them. Crazy as ever. But Friday, Jumped into $250 satellite to try and get into the main event. These were 30-minute blinds, $4,000 starting chips. You know, did okay. Could have been a lot more patient. Made it towards the middle of the satellite, but then donked out. Then played cash games literally till 3 a.m., which did not go so well, and I'm not proud of the table image and the alcohol that it got going. So, lesson learned, don't mix alcohol with cash games. So let's jump to Saturday, which I was pretty tired, which would be yesterday. Started out really good. Actually won about half back in cash games what I had donked out on Friday night. Upwards of $500 won on Saturday, so you do the math on that. What was great about the table I ended up at is it didn't take me more than 10 minutes to size up my villains and my opponents. There were two guys who were giggling in their 40s and drinking beers and just very casually there. You could tell one of them knew how to play and the other one had no idea what he was doing. So you can quickly figure out which one that I picked off of. And we'll talk about that hand right now. Let's jump into it. Ace Queen. He had already reached back into his pocket to reload his 200. He had already lost a quick 200 in his first half hour there. I sat down with 200, by the way, and I walked away with 700. I'm wake up with this. The flop is deuce something and then a queen. He bets it out. I call. He had position on me. The turn card is another queen. He bets it out about $30. I raise him to 70. He calls. The river card was a brick. He shoves on the river. I turn over my ace queen. He turns over queen 9. So that's what I mean when we talk about donkey ass players who it's going to play queen 9 on that. He never stops to think that I may have a much higher kicker than his. Few hands later, but a different player, I wake up with pocket fours. This guy too, he kind of had a nervous persona about him that like this was his last $200 or he was really nervous about, you know, having to reach into his pocket again for another $200. And I had given him some tips across the table on kind of his bet sizing and stuff, and he seemed to take notice of it. I'm trying to help out people sometimes, and people have helped out me, so I like the community that we have. But he overplayed his 2 pair that he flopped when I had also flopped a set. So he flopped 2 pair, I flopped a set, and you know, he never stopped to think to himself that I may have a set because I'm calling his big raises. And in the end, I shoved him all in. He calls. I take all of his money with my set of fours. Beautiful hand. The cash games were just great. Towards the end of yesterday, I jumped into an evening tournament that was a $135 evening tournament that they have every night there with 20-minute blinds, and the prize pool is usually like $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, and was having a lot of fun with it. Again, a lot of casual players and some really good players in there as well. I fired 2 bullets. On my second bullet, I actually made it down to the top 20 players, and there were 95 entries in this, so that includes some of the rebuys. And one of the hands that got really interesting is I wake up with pocket threes, and I had position on somebody. I bet it really aggressive, and she shoves all in over the top of me. She's got me covered in chips, and I make the call, and she shows her pocket aces. I show my threes, and she's ahead. She's ahead on the flop. She's ahead on the turn, but you guessed it, a 3 hits on the river. And what's great is I never got up from my chair. I just sat there and I waited for that 3 to hit on the river, and it did. And I was very, very pleased. And that got me down to, the final 20 players. But here's where it gets really ugly. When I say good, bad, and ugly, this is disgusting. I'm sitting there with about 25,000 in chips, and I'm not proud of what I'm going to tell you about, and it's very dumb to do this. And the top 12 are getting paid in this tournament, and I am in 18th place. And I could have just coasted at least to the cash prize pool. I wake up in middle position with the ace queen. Where is it? Here it is, suited. And it had flatted around to me, and I went to bet out 3,100, and I accidentally grabbed one of my 5,000 chips, and what was supposed to be 3,100 became 8,100 when I tossed it out. And when I did it, I quickly took a gulp, try not to let anyone notice at the table. I almost said, oh, I didn't mean to do that, but I didn't say a word. I just thought to myself, you fucking idiot. You grabbed the wrong chip, threw out 8,100. There's 3 or 4, I'm in middle position. One guy shoves his little stack, and the guy who is in the smaller big blind, he tanks for about a minute, and then he says, well, I'm going to make the call. I'm going to make the call. Flop comes 9, 10, queen. I flop top pair. I immediately shove. He snap calls. He's got me covered. We both had like 25,000 in chips. He turns over ace jack. He's got an open-ended straight draw. You guessed it. Turn card comes and it's an 8, and he hits the straight, and I'm fucking out of the tournament. So really, really dumb. Flopping top pair doesn't mean you've won it. I could have checked and let him shove, and I could have folded. Pre-flop, I could have bet the right size instead of grabbing the wrong chip. I could have flat called. There's a lot of couldas. You know what? Or I couldn't even play ace queen spade in middle position. I could have just folded it, At least get to the cash pool before you get crazy and stuff. So let's keep this vlog moving along. A couple other things. I'd say the highlight of my weekend actually was the free toilet paper that I took from the Potawatomi bathroom with the nice little thing there. So that was a nice memento. And I showed this previously in one of my other books. Highly recommend this book. Fantastic. One of the guys on here is Evan, which is grips.com. That's where that comes from, Team Grips. Just a shirt I bought off his website. But Evan's a great guy. I've learned a lot from him. And Phil is a guy I followed from the beginning. Just a great book. Highly recommend it. Hope you enjoyed the vlog. Wish I had more great news to say. But hey, it's poker, and there's variance, and there's going to be ups and downs. And thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. Please share. Please like. This is KidMock7 with Poker Vlog. Boom! Thank you. Good luck grinding on the tables. Be patient. Look for fishes. Play smart. Play tight. Get premium hands. And stack someone. This is KidMock7.
I woke up this morning, there were tears in my bed. They killed a man that I really loved, shot him through the head. Lord, Lord, they cut George Jackson down. Lord, Lord, they laid him in the ground. Sent him off to prison for a $7 robbery. Closed the doors behind him and they threw away the key. Lord, Lord, they cut George Jackson down.